Okey. Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi, selamat sejahtera, good morning. Let's continue from yesterday about the accountable manager of part 147, approved training organization, specifically for the aircraft maintenance license. So we have a question yesterday regarding can the accountable manager be non-technical person? The answer is yes, but must have corporate authority. So what is the corporate authority? Let's go back to the Company Act. Just trying to understand how the company is managed, should be managed by the regulation. So there is a Company Act, section 211 says that business affairs managed by the board, and if the board, section 216 says if the board is unable to do that and will not want to do that, he can delegate to officers. So let's look at the actual content of the regulation. So it says here in the Act, Company Act, section 211, business and affairs of company shall be managed by or under the direction of the board. So that is the function of the board. Function of the board is to business and affairs of the company is managed by the board. Board is functioning to manage the business affairs of the company. So the board has all the power necessary for managing and for directing and supervising the management of the business and affairs of the company, subject to any modification, exception or limitation contained in this Act or in the constitution of the company. So you go to section 260 of the Act, except as is otherwise provided by this Act, the constitution or any resolution of the board or members of the company, the directors may delegate any power of the board to any committee of the board, director, officer, employee, expert or any other person. So we see the function, there is a we always come across like managing director. So he is a part director. So board comprised of the directors, and he one of the director and the board managing the company, running the company day to day. So managing director, or they have appoint chief executive officer of the company, managing the company, or other employee or expert or any other person. So that we talk about it later about the accountable manager. So then number 2, where the directors have delegated any power, the directors are responsible for the exercise of the power, but delegate as if the power had been exercised by the directors themselves. Okay, that's how you delegate. You consider the delegatee has the power of the director. Then that is continue on from the Act, and let's look at what is actually happened in the organization. So there are two possibility of the company. We may have a small company, Asian Diamond Berhad. There's a board, okay, under the Act, and there is a person running the company. Like the Act, as we refer back to the Act, is group of members of the board, the directors, the CEOs. So normally we always see the word CEOs heading the Asian Diamond Berhad, or we also may see the managing directors. So that is what the Act was saying, director or officer. So if you see managing director, that's part of the director managing the company, and you see the chief executive officers, those are officers hired to run the company, and sometimes the officers also sit in the board. Okay, now there is a unit or section for exam. For the case of approved training organization, for the case of training organization, there is a unit or section exam, training and quality. So this is we need these three to function as a training organization. So that will be under the Asian Diamond Berhad. So for this situation is straightforward because CEO is a board for Sdn Bhd, one person company. I mean, it's only a private company owned by a person. Then the board is himself. He's also the managing the company. He may also be the CEO of the company or the managing director of the company. So this is straightforward. Then there are unit or section in the company to run as an ATO. Then the accountable manager obviously is himself because he obviously having the corporate authority. So he has a corporate authority. So he's a accountable manager, no question about it. He has a corporate authority. He owns the company. He manages the company by himself. Okay, that is straightforward. However, there are some company which is big, large company. The Sdn Bhd, but there are a department. We take this example as an airline. Airline, we have flight operation, which is flying the aircraft. This flight operation itself having their own approval. They have AOZ. And then you have maintenance department, which is maintaining the aircraft, 100 aircraft. And then the maintenance department itself having the approval under the authority, Part 145. Then the training, there's a training unit, big training unit, there are hundreds of trainees with them. So the training department also having the approval, which is ATO Part 147. Okay, so and the QA here. So now the training department, if you go into the department, there are obviously for the training, they have training department, they have exam and the QA. So this is the entity to be approved as Part 147. Now the question is, who will be the accountable manager? Okay, obviously if you look at the first example, the accountable manager, we go back to the term of corporate authority. So corporate authority, a person here, obviously the person who is a CEO of the big company will be the accountable manager because obviously he has the corporate authority. However, the second question, with this big organization, does he has the time or she has the time to handle another big department in the company? Most of the time not. He got so many approval. It's one approval here, it's AOC here, there's 145 here, there's 147 here. They may have DOA somewhere. I'm sorry, this should be design technical services, which is having DOA, CAM Part 21 Subpart J. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 approval. So he may not have the time. Now we are questioning, can this head of the training department be the accountable manager? The answer is yes. But they must show this training head or head of department of training having the corporate authority. Corporate authority which he has the orders, he are able to employ people, buying equipment, providing the training material, hire people, get the right competent person, send people for training. He should have all the resources required to maintain this approval under this department. And under the law, if we go back to the law again, say here, okay, delegate to the board, director, officer, employee or expert. In this case, maybe expert, because the head of training, he are very conversant with the training, so he can be the expert or maybe another employee. So means that under the law, even under the law, it's still possible for this guy to be the accountable manager. But still back to the point, under the law as well, under our Part 147, Notice 1201, corporate authority. So as long as he has evidence in written, as well as after going through the audit and surveillance, he has the corporate authority, yes, he can be the accountable manager. Thank you.